Alright everybody, we're almost done here. In this episode I'm going to show you how to do the ladder back for the chair. Now when I lay these out, I mark each end. The arrows point to the face side. So I know when I put these together, they'll go together like that. Also, I will do all my layouts from this end down. Now each one has 7 mortise pockets, completely laid out. Now according to the directions, each one of these staves is supposed to be 11/16 to 7/8 inch apart. Now you can take a rule and just lay that out and just mark at 11/16, then put your stave, mark where it goes, and then just do that constantly down the line. Or you can just add up all the dimensions. Now each stave is about 2.5 inches wide, and then comes in 3/8 of an inch, and about 1 3/4 inches, and then I just cut whatever is left off. You really don't need you really don't need super precise measurements for this. So I'll rip these to a little over 2.5, then plane the one edge down. Then all my measurements I'll take off my datum side. So 3/8, 1 3/4 inches, and then whatever the difference is here, that's what I'll cut off. And I have my marking gauges set up for those, so I can make repeated markings. And then just cut. This is a 2-cheek tenon. All of these I drilled out using my 3/4 inch auger bit. And if you can see down into the bottom here, you can still see some of the markings left by the auger, and then chiseled out the rest. And I did that because there's just so many of them. I mean, there's 14 mortise pockets in total that you have to make, and it's just a lot faster to bore them out and remove the waste with chisels than it is to actually chop them out wholly with chisels. Okay, make sure I get my marks. Get my marks lined back up. Now you want to go through and you want to test fit all these first before you do any glue up to make sure it all fits. And I did that, and each one has a number on. Like this is number 1. I numbered them sequentially going off the mark side. And now I have them laid out. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And also, just to match the bottom slats, I chamfered each one. Okay. Now I have dimensions here for 11/16, 2 9/16, 3 11/16, 5 7/16, 6 5/8, 8 5/16, 9 11/16, 11 7/8, 12 9/16, 14 5/16, 15 7/16, 17, and I believe I wrote an 1/8, and 18 and 5/16, and then 20 inches. Those were I just took in my rule out and laid it and then measure it all. And that's what I got. And you can take those measurements and write them down, or so you can figure up yourself or lay out each stave individually. So now that I have all my tenons cut, and this is a 2-cheek tenon. The tenons are referred to by how many cheeks they have. This here is a cheek. So if there's no cheeks, then which is this basically just slopping in a full board, then it's a no cheek tenon. This is what's known as a 2-cheek tenon. If you were to cut down, say like here, that would be a 3-cheek tenon. And then if you were to cut here, then that would be a 4-cheek tenon. Okay. Anyway, now that I have these all labeled, laid out, I test fitted earlier. I got my markings right. Now to start putting them in. So I take my exterior grade glue. Like I said, I prefer Elmer's Wood Glue Max. I do have Type Bond 3. It just takes too long to set up, in my opinion. Okay, and then just got that down in. And you're gonna want, I just apply the glue to the upper section of each, because when you put this down in, it's gonna smear the glue down, so you don't have to coat. Now, this is the easy part. Here, putting on the top is going to be a little trickier, but we'll get to that. Now, with Type Bond 3, I know its extended working time is sold as a feature. And if you're doing a very, very complex glue up, then you might want to do that. When I built the love seat, the bench from this collection, that had, I believe, 14 stays in it. And so a little bit extra working time isn't such a bad thing. It's just the Type Bond took forever to set up. So I wasn't really impressed with it. But Type Bond has surpassed Elmer's as the #1 glue in the trade. So obviously people really like the brand, and also, you know, everybody has different experiences with different brands. Or to put it another way, your mileage may vary. Okay, now we got that done. Here's what I'm going to do now. This is going to be a little messy. I'm going to add glue to all of the mortise pockets first. Okay. I got a little glue here, so I'm gonna take some of that off. Alright, now, just want to make sure I get this lined up. Yep. Okay. Now, we want to... All I need to do, really, is just to get these two started. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a clamp. I'm going to clamp this up. You don't want to get it too snug. I want to walk this out. Take your mallet, just kind of, there you go. Now, tighten that up. And tighten this up as well. Okay, next up, going to want to... Alright, here we go. Okay. Alrighty. And now, here we go. Now we get the clamps back on. Now if you're really looking at this right now, you're probably noticing this is still got the rust sewn marks. And that's intentional, because here's what's going to happen. When this all dries, I will clamp this in my vise, and then I'll be able to use my plane with the joiner fence, using this as my reference side, and plane it square. So I do that after it's fully assembled. So I'm also planing it after you got it glued up. Needs to take any sort of indentation from the clamp out as well. Okay, there we go. And all these were smooth plane before I clamped it up. So I ran my smooth plane over each one of these pieces. The only thing I didn't do was joint the two edges, but I will do that when it's completely assembled and dry. Okay, so we'll set this here, and then next time we'll take it out of the clamps, join it up, put it on here, and make the two back arches, and our chair will be done. So thanks for sticking with me if you have, and I'll see you next time.